Hi guys, welcome back to Edu Explorer. Today we are going to talk about the hustle beyond classroom. So now what does the hustle beyond classroom mean? In this video we are going to dig deep into identifying the markers that indicate the ROI that you are going to get from that particular institution or university that you are planning to join. Now, if you are a person who has money to spend for education, definitely this is not for you, and you can go and choose the university that you like. Maybe the feel of campus, or the clubs that you would like to join and get into, or maybe by seeing their fancy infrastructure, etc. Now, people who doesn't fall into this category, you spend hell amount of time and money on a single piece of paper which will pave your path for your career. Now, to build this pathway, or launch pad for your career, it is not a movie to get it done in 3 months or 4 months. Now, usually what people think is the main problem, or the trap students fall into, is they treat their career side of college like a final exam. So for them, maybe their final year, third year, second year, or fourth year, depending upon the discipline or career path that you choose. Usually for MBA it is 2 years, maybe for the common degrees it is 3 years, for BTech it is 4 years, for MBBS it may be, or LLB it may be 5 years and above. Now, they think the final year is crucial, and they will prepare for their best grades, maybe prepare more in terms of training themselves on interpersonal skills, their linguistics, etc. Now, this focus, of few months before graduation is not going to help you, because there are people who start their preparation even before joining the institutions. Once I get fixated on my career path, that this is the way that I'm going ahead, they'll start planning the steps on how should I go there, what are the trainings that are required for it, maybe what are the projects that I can do to reach there faster, what kind of internships can I do, what kind of roles should I look at while applying for jobs, etc. Now, I am here to tell you that how to audit that particular institution or a university that offers you, or at least gives you the trust that it will help you in building your career. Now, if you I have said before, if you wait until your senior year thinking that you will get a job, if you strive hard for those last couple of months, and you will happily live ever after, that is not going to happen. Now, the main audit that you can do of a institution is not how their infrastructure is, or how the professors are, or not how the students clubs or activities run. Definitely these are important, I'm not saying these are not important, but the main crucial factor is understanding the career development center or training and placement center that the university or institution has. Now, let's dive into the career placement center. Now, once you go into, let's just say, the counseling for your dream institution or university, they'll take you on a nice campus tour explaining where the classes happen, and where if there is a lab there, how, where the lab is and how the lab functions, what equipment that the institution provides for the lab works. And apart from that, you have a career and career development center. Some institution call it, some institution call it as a placement block, some call it as a training and placement, so they have different names for it. Now, once you enter into this career development center, they'll showcase few rooms where the actual interviews happen, or there might be huge lab setup if you are into engineering, and where students can practice their coding and take their coding examinations, etc. Now, everything on paper, maybe inside the institution, may look good for your eyes, but you have to always see the underlying threats. Now, you have to understand that every institution has their own format of having a nice glossy brochure and displaying numbers like 97% placements, 100% placement assistance, etc. You have to understand what they are actually talking about. Now, how to audit that particular institution career center? Now, you have to step into that and ask what will they exactly do for getting better companies, what companies they are getting this year. First, your specific branch or your specific domain, how many companies have come in, how many companies have consumed how many people, and let's just say how many students have opted for placements. So you have to understand what is the total batch size, what is the total students who have opted for placements. Out of those students who have opted for placements, who have opted for your specific discipline, and in that specific discipline, how many companies have visited, how many students were absorbed, and what is their highest average. And most of the institutions don't like to disclose the basic salary that they have placed, but if possible, try to get that information as well, so that you can understand how the companies are coming in, at what rate they are absorbing students, and what companies are coming or repeating year on year, so that you have a clear understanding on, if I go into that particular institution, whether I have a chance of being placed or not. Now, this is one thing. Second thing is understanding whether the career development center helps you only write your resume, or maybe modify it for 2 or 3 jobs, or is it actually helping you understand, what all things need to be done to have a better chance at placement. Nowadays, every institution has a training team. So now, whether this training team is in-house or not, whether the trainers are actually equipped with right knowledge or not, what kind of experience do they have? And institutions nowadays are giving a AI mock interviews, so one-on-one interviews where you can do, depending upon the company, the AI asks you questions based upon your resume and whether the institution is doing that or not. So this actually helps in performing well in personal interviews. You can have a mock of how you are performing, how your language is, what are your stutter words, how many times you are having a pause, etc. And apart from this, what tools that the institution is providing or equipping you with to have a better shot at placements compared to other institutions. After this, you have to ask whether the institution is helping in terms of getting your first internship or not. So majority of the institutions help their students to secure an internship, but whether they are doing it in the discipline that you want or not, or if you get an internship on your own, whether the university is considering it or not. Now, these things actually matter, once you are sitting in the final interview, because if you do a wrong internship and, sit for companies that doesn't match of work what you did, definitely it is going to be a challenge nowadays, because people do not only want, exposure or experience of those 3 months or 4 months or maybe 2 or 3 internships that you have done. They want to know whether you have done any projects in that specific domain or in that specific job role, to understand whether you will be able to survive in that job role or not. So this is an active metric that the companies that absorb you look into, and also understand whether that 94% or 95% placement rate will be there. Is it actually the current year statistics or last year's or maybe last year's? Because if you see the banners year on year, they do not typically change for many institutions. So 5 years back, they have got a package of 30 lakhs or 40 lakhs. They are displaying it till date. And going further, I'll definitely showcase few institutions which are doing it. But you have to make sure the statistics that they are providing is for current year. And if possible, ask them the question that in last 6 months, how many companies came in, how many students that they have absorbed in, because you will be going and asking students, maybe in January. So people typically start, depending upon from September till August, on multiple disciplines. The admissions happen. So you have to ask whether they're getting companies, frequently, month on month, and the number should keep on increasing unless and until it is last phase of placements. The companies slowly start coming down. But if it is, let's just say, in the month of January, December, October, the number should usually be on a higher side. And also try to get a list of students who got placed in what company, not their numbers or any personal information, but to understand what kind of companies are coming in, how many students have got placed. And this actually helps you to go back and research. So nowadays LinkedIn is available and people are updating their professions on most of the platforms. So you can go to LinkedIn or and search that particular student name and understand his or her career path after the institute, after that particular institution, what is their first job that they've got through institution, and how is their career journey, and whether students are able to have a good journey or not. So whether, if I'm joining in, let's just say, if you take engineering, if you are joining as a system engineer, whether you are being promoted into senior system engineer, or maybe SDE1, SDE2, etc. So depending upon the job roles, etc., and understand whether how the career journey is across different students, not just one student. So if your domain has, let's just say, 20 student placed or 30 students placed, if the number is higher, maybe try to have 5 or 10 students journey mapped. But if it is below 15 or 20, you try to look into everyone, and even message them in LinkedIn, showcasing your interest. It is not like don't send a two page kind of a message or a very big chat GPT type message. Send a small message, first greeting them and asking their time if they're available, or you may directly explain, get into point, saying that I'm looking at joining in this institution and want to understand your quick insights about the institution, maybe 5 minutes, and have a chat conversation. If possible, try to get into a call and understand about the institution more. And while you're at the institution, talk to your seniors, talk to the recent batch that have joined, and understand how the institution is treating them, and whether they are delivering all the promises made during their time of joining. Definitely there will be few lapses, but you have to understand the institution at least have to uphold more than 70% of what they have promised. And also spend most of your time understanding the student placement training, and the entire placement process, how it goes, how the internship process works, what is the weightage that students have based upon these internships, and also try to understand the overall academic cycle on how it works, whether this placement training also happens during the fag end of the program, or is it systematically included starting from there, maybe second semester or third semester. Because like I've said, if you do training in those 4 months or 6 months, that is not going to cut it. And also see what kind of entrepreneurship support that the institution provides, because not everyone is joining to get a job. Few people join to get good network from their alumni, and also from their entrepreneurship wing, because nowadays every institution has it. And if you have an idea, institution, and if it is viable enough, institution provides you the basic funding. And then once you develop a prototype or a sample of it, you can go around and get you can pitch it to different investors, get investments, and work on the idea, understand whether the institution supports this kind of module or not, and if it does, what are the projects that it has supported, how many startups has evolved from their entrepreneurship wing. And also, let's just say, try mapping or connecting with those people as well, using platforms like LinkedIn, or if they have created a website, maybe going into their official website and connecting with them. This really helps, in understanding whether the placement metrics or support that they give is right or wrong, and whether the institution is actually worth joining or not. And also, I am going to give you a small tip on how to read a placement report like a pro. Now, to avoid getting fooled, you need to understand the undergraduate outcome report for your specific domain or your specific major. Do not look at a wide average like I've talked. You have to go into a specific niche on how much percent that the institution has in that particular specific niche, that is in field employment rate. And like I've said, try getting the medium salary and basic salaries if possible, and list of top employers, that is, given at any point in time. You have to have these three statistics, at your convenience while you are comparing institutions. If the institution is not providing it, or maybe giving you a vague answer, then I suggest you put that particular institution on hold, get a better alternative than it. Now, so what would be the key takeaway of this video is, understand the power of, how do I put it? So you have to always understand the power of microstatistics. So this microstatistics actually gives you the clear cut idea on whether this institution will pave a path, or give me the right career start or not. That is the important thing, because you are the person who are paying fees. So nowadays education is not cheap anywhere. You have to spend a good amount of 10 to 20 lakhs depending upon what domain you choose, and some may extend up to 30 or 40 lakhs depending upon whether you're choosing hostel or not, and whether you're getting into their elite program or not. So be careful. And the bottom line is college is an unpredictable place to learn, but it is also a business transaction. Now you are exchanging your time and money for a launch pad into your professional world. Do not let universities or institutions hide any information, behind those glossy, nice, fake statistical brochures. Start building your, so once you are inside that particular institution or inside your dream institution, once you have make your decision, start your networking from very first semester or very first day. Now, like I've said, there are few people who start their career planning from day one of the institution, even before joining the institution. Now they understand how the actual scenario of getting jobs, or maybe how people struggle before them to get into their dream career job roles today. So that's it, guys. That's it for this video. Like as I've said, please be careful while choosing your dream university or a institution, and try to always read the underlying data. Stay tuned for more.